Hi, I'm Rick Ruhl, and you're watching Market 1 Minute. I'm here with Lukas Lundin, and I guess let's start with Lupi. This is one that I guess really is a successor in interest almost to International Petroleum's, going all the way back to 1977.
Correct.
Tell me something about the size of the company now in terms of production, in terms of market capitalization.
The size of the company, Lupi, now has become a completely Norwegian-focused company. You know, it's called Lundin Petroleum. We spun off, we had some assets in France and Malaysia. We spun it off to a company called International Petroleum. I took the old name again.
Yes.
So because Norway became so big, so those assets disappeared. So we're going to build an international company, other assets, or the Malaysia and France assets. But Lupi itself can concentrate on Norway. Today, its market cap is about 8 billion US. And we're producing close to 90,000 barrels a day.
Yes.
And we are in the progress of building the largest field in the world called Johan Sverdrup with Statoil. And we're about, I think, 60% complete. It comes on stream October 19. And that's going to produce about 440,000 barrels, going up to 660,000. And we have 22% of that. So one of the largest, you know, Canada produces 2 million barrels. So it's going to be one of the Canadian oil production. So the company has enormous growth potential left just with the existing assets without counting the exploration we're doing in the Barents Sea today. So that's been a fantastic story, and we've been involved in this part of Lundin for the last 12 years.
And putting, I guess, that in context, this is fully funded? We have we have no more financing risk?
No problem.
So let's move to the spin-off, International Petroleum.
Yeah.
Tell me what you're trying to do there, what the market cap is.
The market cap right now is about $400 million, I think. And we have production in Malaysia and France, and it's going to have free cash flow about $150 million a year over the next 3 years. And we're aggressively looking at new producing assets around the world, actually. We're looking a bit actually in Canada, some in West Africa, to acquire. And we think it's a very good time to acquire because of the down cycle, and a lot of people are divested of assets because the oil is trading at $50. We have a very good management team. It's Mike Nicholson, who used to be the CFO of Lundin Petroleum, who's running it. So they're very keen.
And one more oil name. Talk to me about Africa Oil.
Africa Oil, yeah, that's a very exciting story. We had a big discovery in Kenya. It's a new basin about 3 years ago. And we have Tullow and Maersk as partners, and that's actually changed today because Maersk just got bought out by Total. And it's a big asset, and it's in the progress of evaluation, and a pipeline has to be built to the coast. You know, so we're doing a lot of reservoir work and a lot of work on the asset itself to figure out how to put it into production, and we should know that in the next 3-4 months. And the company is in very good shape. We have 25%. We did it with a Maersk. I think we sit on 500 million in cash, plus 25% of an oil basin that has about 800 million barrels.
Yeah, as I understand it, you're fully funded there for the next while too.
Yeah, so it's good shape.
800,000 barrels, and you have a quarter of it.
Yeah, 800
so
million.
When you talk about big, you're talking about Lundin big.
Yeah, Lundin
really,
big. Yeah,
truly big.
Yeah.
200 billion net barrels.
Yeah, just the question is now how we bring it to the next stage.
Let's go now to Lundin Mining, your base metals entity.
Yes.
Tell us something about that.
Lundin Mining, we have 4 very good assets now. We have in Chile, Candelaria, copper assets that's producing much better than expected. I think we bought that from Freeport in the downturn when Freeport had a lot of trouble. It was supposed to do 90,000 tons of copper a day. I think we're up at 130, and we found new reserves. So that's looking very encouraging, and a lot of exploration upside. Then we have an asset in Portugal called Neves Corvo, which is copper and zinc. And there we do an expansion on zinc. So we're doubling zinc production from 80,000 tons to 160,000 tons. That's been announced. It looks very encouraging. And then we have a zinc asset in Sweden called Zinkgruvan, which is the oldest operating zinc mine in the world. And we are about 100,000 tons of zinc there. And when we acquired the asset, it was 60,000. And that also has expansion possibility, and we found maybe a new discovery called Dalby that we're drilling out. So there's a lot of growth in those 3 assets. And then of course we have in Michigan Eagle Mine, which is a nickel copper mine. And that's just, we have found a small satellite deposit, so we're going to keep the mine life going for another 3 years, and then we're doing some deep drilling to see if we can find some more ore underneath. So the 4 assets we have are in very, very good shape. And on top of that, we sold our assets in the Congo. So the company sits in about 2 billion in cash and good production. So it's definitely bound for growth if you can find some good assets to put into it.
So you have the means there with the cash.
Yeah.
You have brownfields growth, and of course you have the ability to continue to do acquisitions.
Acquisitions, and I think the operating free cash flow in the company is about $1 billion a year.
And then moving on to the last Lundin headline company, Lundin Gold. Tell us something about your move back into gold and your move into Ecuador.
Yeah, Lundin Gold is a kind of interesting story because that's an asset that was found by a company called Rillion, and it was bought by Kinross for about 1.2 billion. Then Kinross spent another 300 million on it, and then they had some difficulty with the Ecuadorian government. So I think in 2013 they decided to stop advancing the projects. And it's a very, very rich gold deposit. It's about 10 million ounces at 10 grams. You know, so it's underground. So, and they had problems with that headbutting with the gold, and then the gold market was bad. So again, we took an advantage of this and were able to acquire the asset for 240 million from Kinross. And then we have revamped the feasibility, made a smaller mill and more profitable. And now we're in full construction. So we acquired that in 2014, and now we're building it, and we should be in production in 2019. And that's an opportunity we'll be able to take because of a down market in the gold, and also a problem with Ecuador for Kinross. We were able to solve the political situation with Ecuador and moving full steam ahead. So that's a very exciting story. It happened to be gold, but it could have been any asset, but it was gold and it was very rich, and it's a very, very low cost producer, you know, so it fits all the boxes.
One of the things that's great for myself as an investor in the Lundin enterprises and for our clients is that I've been able to move with the Lundins through two generations, doing a lot of business with your father, as you know, when I was young, and then doing business with yourself and your brother now, and we're watching the transition of the business to the 3rd generation of Lundins at the same time that you bring new small companies up. Could you tell us something about a couple of the smaller companies that you're involved in that might be of interest to the viewers?
Yeah, for sure. We have a couple of small, especially we have a company called NGX, another called Philo Mining, which is junior companies, but they have very, very good exploration assets in Chile and Argentina. And these assets, they've been around for a long time. It's not like it's instant success here. I think we've been working on, we picked up Philo in '99, you know, and now we're finally getting the fruits of it. You know, it's almost 20 years later.
Right.
Yes, it's not, again, this perverse, and it looks very, very interesting. And we have a high sulfurization system with a porphyry underneath, and we're getting extremely good drill results, and I think some more results are coming out in the near future. So we're very excited with that project. And then we're very excited of NGX because there we have 2 projects, one in Chile called Los Helados, and another asset in Argentina called Jose Maria, which again we've been worked out. So I'm very excited with those assets. And at the same time, I think Wojtek has picked up, who runs the company NGX, has picked up some more very interesting exploration assets in Argentina that just came up. So I think that's going to be a very exciting story over the next 2 years, those 2 companies.
And on behalf of Market One subscribers and Sprott clients, thank you for your efforts over 30 years.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Rick.